off in outer space, motherfuckers. As you know, I'm Elton. I'm the host with Underground Noise Webzine. Today is webisode number 140. And I have a returning guest. His name is Eston Browne from the band Vulnificus. What's up, Eston?
What's going on, Alex? How you doing, man? I'm gonna say Happy New Year too before we get there too. So
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, man. It's coming up real quick.
I
21
know
days away.
2023 is just like it's a blur. It's a blur, man. I think the last time I was on, that was a year ago. I think.
Yeah, that was last year
Yeah,
actually.
almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah, tell me what's been going on with you, man. You got some new songs, you got any shows? I saw you that you played in Denver not too long ago.
What'd you say? You kind of breaking up, boss?
Oh, okay. I was saying,
You there?
seeing that you had a show in Denver, did you have any other shows that were coming up, or do you have any new songs?
We just finished the tour a month ago. We just finished the tour a month ago with Cordyceps. Yeah, we played Denver, a couple of days in Arizona, a couple of dates in California. We played in Las Vegas, and we debuted a bunch of songs that we played that's going to be on our upcoming album, and we played the two tracks that's on our current EP that came out last month as well, and it's strictly.
That new song is fucking brutal as hell, dude.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you listening to it, man. Checking it out. The reception went pretty well. I was really, really surprised and really thankful for everything running as smoothly as it did. So, yeah, man, it's great to finally get out there and play some shows again.
That's awesome, dude. I'd like to find out though, what could go wrong on tour and what could go right, you know? Like,
It's kind of like it's like life, like Murphy's Law. Whatever could go wrong will go wrong type of stuff. Like some days you could wake up and everything could go smoothly, and then other times you can wake up and then like one little piece is just like one little piece is messed up, and then it leads to another piece being messed up, and then another piece, and then other times you wake up and everything was just flawless. So thankfully we were fortunate enough that everything went smoothly. A lot of times, we've seen it like with the Morbid Angel tour that happened earlier this year, like with the ceiling falling, and I think the thing that just happened with First Fragment, like with their gear went outside the trailer, like I think they hit it like a patch of black ice, and then like the trailer like spun out, and the gear got lost. So I mean, there's like a whole slew of things that could be that could happen, that could just go wrong, because that's what happens in life, man. Like you can wake up and somebody could go through, somebody breaks, went wrong, and then boom, they T-bone your car. Like you was just on the way to work. Like, you just gotta just try to be mindful. Sometimes uh, say a little silent prayer to whatever God you pray to, bro, because anything could just like boom, So
yeah, one day you're here, the next day, hey, you could be gone.
yeah, yeah. So you just try to be cautious, but not paranoid.
Yeah, paranoia gets the best of a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, because sometimes like what you fear is kind of what ends up happening. You kind of like speak it into existence, you know. So I try not to like worry about that. I just try to just put on like the best hat and just wear it the best that I can. And then, hey, if the hat flies off, then hey, here's what it is. We just go get another hat. Like,
Make the best of what you got while you still have it, you know?
hey, there's only so much that I can control. So that's another thing too. Like I try not to be like a control freak, but just have like enough to where there's a healthy enough, sense of direction. You know what I'm saying? Like control it so that you know what's going on, but don't control it too much to where like you start acting crazy for when things go wrong, like what you said. Like, because a lot of times, a lot of things go wrong and then people get upset about it. But it's like, just gotta just roll with the punches, man. It's 12 rounds in every fight. So if you can't get one round, but you got the other eight, like, hey, you still want to fight.
Yeah, everybody comes out a winner at some point in time, you know.
Yeah, you learn a lot more through the losses than the wins anyway. So, you know, given that we here a year later and there was a lot of losses along the way, it makes the tour that just happened even more sweeter, bro.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah,
We all can't be champions, you know. We're not queen. They're the champions according to them, you know.
yeah, yeah. That's why, we get a new day every day, you know. It's just one more day just to get better than what we were the day before. So
Let me ask you this, Eston. What's your dream band to perform live with?
right, immolation, man, suffocation, uh, malignancy, all the classics, man. Like Deep Flesh, uh, just Dying Fetus, same with Sugar Bob, and like the Deterioration. I would like to play with them, because we were supposed to before. Uh, and yeah, like I said, pretty much all the bands that like we listen to, inspired by, like that's that's pretty much where I would like Vulnificus to go.
You know, speaking of immolation, we were talking prior to this about the immolation show that you had attended. How was it?
It was great, but it's always great seeing them because it's my favorite band. So it's just it's always like the first time. So it's always it's always like learning experience. You know, um, and yeah, like I said, like that's just like one of the things. It's always just like an extra motivating factor to like what I'm doing with this, or, with this band. Because when you see a band like them that's been doing it for so long, it just makes you inspired to do that yourself, and hopefully have the same result. Like, they just came out. I believe it was album 11, and it's a lot. That's a lot to do. It's a lot of work to put in. So, that's the type of work. That's the type of work that I hope to do with this band. So I don't really want things to like end or like slow up no time soon. So I want to keep building to where, we are with those type of bands.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I saw Gorguts back in October. It was so fucking rad, dude. They played the song Obscura, but they didn't play
That was
Invertible.
the camp.
What's that?
Okay. That was the Cannibal tour.
Yeah, that was Cannibal Corpse along with Gorguts, Blood Incantation, and Mayhem.
Yeah, the Cannibal tour. Yeah. Okay.
It was fucking brutal, dude. Me and Luke after the show was a real treat because I said to him, "Yo, Luke, I know you guys didn't play Inverted, but you played Obscura, so hey, I was mind blown throughout the whole set."
Yeah, that's cool, man. Do you like the newer stuff too?
What's that?
I said, do you like the newer stuff too?
Yeah, actually, it's still pretty much like their raw sound, their own original sound, really, because no one really got this sound that Gorguts has. It's like a combination of avant-garde and technical death metal, but at the same time, it's it's very, very I don't know what the word would be. Um, very obscure sounding music.
Yeah, I think that tour they just played like what considered dead stuff, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, they played all sorts of stuff. They played music off of that. They played some stuff off of Obscura. I don't think they played anything off of From Wisdom to Hate, but that's my favorite album
What
actually.
about Erosion?
I I think
Erosion
they might have.
Insanity.
I think they might have because they were selling Erosion of Sanity t-shirts, and I happened to get one along with their tour shirt where it shows the Lear on it, and it's got the skull. Yeah. I figured today
You got
we're
the Erosion Insanity?
yeah, that shirt rocks, man. It's like orange logo and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, that's I love that album. That's like definitely like top tier album right there, Erosion Insanity.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely a to go to album by far. I agree with you.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Luke Collin, uh, and Kevin, yeah, those are all great dudes, man. Great people.
Yeah, me and Luke was like a dream come true for me because I never thought I would meet the dude. I'm like, man, I've been listening to you since Considered Dead. It's like, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, holy shit.
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah, he's a great person, great down to earth dude, great
oh
musician.
yeah, there's
The
a
whole pack, the whole package, bro. It's definitely another band that I hope to play with. So, well, but they don't play often. But whenever they do,
oh,
we'll
absolutely,
definitely like.
man. It seems like the big boys are helping supporting the smaller ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's good, man. Just letting a lot of this gatekeeper stuff kind of just go to the wayside a little bit and letting the real ones shine through.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I was walking into the venue and Paul Mazurkowitz right outside. I was like, "Yo, Paul!" He's like, "Hey!" And he recognized me. I was really surprised because I interviewed Paul not too long ago as well with Rhino, and Paul is
Yeah,
an
yeah,
awesome guest as always.
yeah. Oh, he goes to shows a lot down there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually interviewed him twice for this podcast, and it was great
Yeah,
because the second time around we were talking about the drum pedals that he uses, and the guy who made the pedals mentioned it in a Facebook post. I was like, holy crap, that's huge. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That's definitely would like to brush elbows with Cannibal one of these days, man. It's definitely a major influence to the whole project as a whole.
I'll have to ask you about your new album that you were just talking about a little bit ago. What's different about it? Like, is there any change ups in it?
Well, we got a whole new lineup now as opposed to before. We have guitar, bass, drums, whatever drums now. I just think just like the whole entire package is different. It's a little more sense of melody, more sense of like being focused on like just being evil, not really so much being like brutal. Because that's gonna come regardless. Like just because of all the bands that we like and the influences and stuff like that. Just like more of like an atmosphere type of setting. And I think with all the bands in the tour, that was really cool because it was a great mix of bands like the Slam, and all those other genres, and then with us in the mix just makes everything complemented so really well. So um, with the new album, I think a lot of people will like it. It's gonna be a very like old school, like return to roots, not very not very modern. Um, in the sense of like the production and stuff like that. So um, Yeah, man. We should have some videos and stuff like that coming out soon, from the tour, so people will get a little bit of a sense as to what it sounds like and things like that. So I hope you check it out too, man. I hope you like what it sounds like and get a sense of where we're going with it. It's definitely trying to be really, really evil, man, like the side.
Yeah, it does have that vibe to it because you got this deep guttural growl that doesn't sound like anybody else that I've ever heard before. So I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot, so this should definitely be more, a little bit more to the, the mids and the highs too. Like I said, like the east side. So, definitely been spending my time listening to that band because it's like definitely one of my favorites too.
Speaking of doing vocals, have you ever lost your voice?
No, like I got asked that like a lot because there was two shows where I did double duty with my other band, Submerged, and yeah, people were asking me like, do you ever lose my voice or like, do I have any like warm up techniques? Nah, I don't, man. I just drink water just to stay hydrated and just normal stuff that you could do throughout the day. Um, essentially, like for me, vocals is like a workout, so that's kind of how I approach it. So there's really no like warm up anything. Just stay hydrated, just kind of find like the pocket and just maintain just being comfortable. As long as you're comfortable, everything else will kind of just flow easily and just try not to think too much about what you're doing as you're doing it. Um, 'Cause I don't know, for me, it kind of feels like when I think about stuff, it's kind of when errors happen. But when I just like, I'm thinking it through before I actually do it, then everything is just effortless.
Every now and again, I talk about my voice whenever I do vocals because, like, the very next day, I sound a lot deeper than I'm normally supposed to. And I'm just like,
Well, see, the thing is, too, is like, I don't use my throat most of the time. It's all like based on like the diaphragm. Like the way I'm talking to you now is the way I do my vocals. So it's all coming from like breath control and like from the diaphragm stuff. So I've never had that situation where I've lost my voice or like anything like that. I just always try to just keep my throat like try to always just keep my throat moisturized. Pause. So
yeah, I guess honey would do the trick, keep your vocals lubricated.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just try to just keep it. Just try to keep it at a moderate point. I don't, like I said, I don't do any vocal techniques. I don't do like none of the stuff that a lot of people that I see people ask. So for me personally, it's kind of funny, but like no, I don't do. I'm not. If somebody was to come to me after like hearing the music that that I put out and they was asking me for vocal tips, I'm probably not the person you like to ask because it just all comes from within. Like with this music stuff and a lot of the stuff that goes on, it's either in you or it's not. So there's no science to
Yeah, some people have their own techniques, I guess. Some people like to do the real deep guttural shit, and then there's people that like to do the mid-range stuff. I like to
it.
switch this up. Sometimes it's like a high-pitched black metal type scream, but then there's times where it can sound like a, you know, extremely brutal death metal growl to the point where you can't understand a single word I'm saying. It's interesting when bands do that.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. For me, it's more just like whatever the riff calls for. To be honest, like sometimes the riff doesn't call for any vocals at all. So
True.
really just a matter of just knowing like when to pick and choose the spots. That's kind of a bit of the criticism that I have with like a lot of bands. I try to be mindful of just not being too like being present on the song, but not being so much so that it takes away from the musicianship that's going on. That's why on the EP, um, that's why the first song on the EP repeats as an instrumental because I wanted people to really like see and listen to like the musicianship and everything that's going on, and not really so much focus so much on the vocal point. So um, that's why the instrumental is there. I don't really, you don't really see bands doing that often. I think, I don't know, I just kind of feel like, with the technical styles of music, sometimes it's good to just like take the vocals out and just let people hear what it sounds like instrumentally. Because, the old styles of like the classical music and the jazz and stuff like that, it got popularized, a lot of stuff, with the vocals, but a lot of the underground, like, jazz and stuff like that ain't really have vocals on it. So you could really see like the musicianship shine through.
This is a question I haven't asked before, but what would you say is your favorite death metal breakdown? Personally, for myself, it's the breakdown that's in Grotesque Impalement by Dying Fetus.
Mm-hmm. Favorite breakdown? All right, off the top of my head. Oh man. See, for me, it's not really so much like breakdowns, but more so just like I'm a fan of just like riffs, like particular riffs in a song. So I would probably say I'd probably say the breakdown from Infecting the Crips.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that's
I'll
man.
tell you, man, Terrence Hobbs is a fucking god. I'm not kidding. God,
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man.
the goat.
I'd say yeah, that one. Um, and then like maybe for like just like the riff in general. Like I said, I like a lot of like suffocation riffs. They're like one of my like favorite bands because they kind of like mesh like the death and the thrash type of stuff together. So like a lot of those like thrash death kind of riffs. But yeah, I'd probably say the breakdown from Infected with Chris. Um, maybe the breakdown from Bind Torture Kill.
That's a good one. That was from their self-titled album, Bind Torture Kill.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like the chorus riff and Surgery of Entailment.
How do you like
Yeah,
the
man.
new album by them?
I like it, man. I was just listening to it before we did this interview. I was listening to it actually. I like it. It's really unfortunate we were doing that tour, so I didn't get a chance to see them. But yeah, I definitely would like to hear how that music how it translates from the recorded produced version to the the raw live like like yeah, because I, I like I like where the band is evolving too. They definitely like there's definitely something going on. Like, and I like this is like a there's like a slight evolution with the sound going on, and I like where it's going. It's very interesting to hear like from between this record and the last record, and just like everything else that they did before that. There's like definitely something different in the sound that I like. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was really surprised by it myself. I was just like, "Holy shit, this is suffocation," but it doesn't sound like suffocation. But it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of like what I'm getting at. Like it sounds like them, but it doesn't. But it's it's not a bad like normally when you say something like that about another band, like it's normally seen as like like kind of an insult or like or it's just like it kind of pales in comparison to like the quote unquote classics or whatever. But like yeah, no, the music is it's strong. It's super solid. It's like, whoa, this doesn't really like it sounds like shuffle, but it doesn't really sound like shuffle. So it's like, oh yeah, I like that. That's when you know like a band is evolving into something else. And like it's one of those things where like you're not really gonna fully um you're not really gonna fully understand it until much later. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like, like, like looking back now at 2023 at the albums that Suffocation did, like in the mid, like Soul to Deny and all that stuff, like it sounds way better now because you know we played shows and had more time to digest it and stuff. So now it's like, hey, these records sound great. So that's how I feel like with these records now. Like they sound great, but now it's like once it actually settles in, like it's gonna be it's gonna be fun to see like how it stacks up.
yeah, that band's definitely a face slap. Because if you don't watch out, they're gonna surprise you with something that you weren't expecting, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But you know the music is always strong and they're consistent, and that's and like what I said about like emulation is just like very inspiring. It's very motivating, and it's just all a reason like not to give up. Like with what you're doing, like with your passion. Like it might not seem like when you started, like even when what happened like last year with the members changing or whatever, like it seemed like things wasn't really going to like progress or whatever the case is. But you know, it's just a cloud, just it's just a little bit of a storm, you know what I'm saying? So once that goes through, then it's a part of the growing pains, you know. So we always gotta go through that shit. It sucks because sometimes you know the growing pain is a little bit longer for some people than others. Um, but through that, that's when you come out like victorious, you know. And I'm sure like Suffocation had an emulation run through it, but they still here, bro. And it's like 30 years later, so it's like I give you inspiration, like for the growth and inspiration for when you do you know your own stuff. So it's definitely all the reason not to give up on what you're doing, especially if you really like, you know, you love what you're doing to the degree that I do. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
that's about
Press.
Okay, since Rhino's not with me
Rhino's
today,
not with me today.
I'm gonna ask
But
him.
I'm gonna ask him.
You get to bring back one dead musician in replace. You have to sacrifice a modern musician. Who's coming up and who's going down?
um are we talking about metal or are we just talking about in all genres?
Anything.
Um that's a great question. All right.
It's kind of a funny one too.
um You know what? I want you to answer the question since it was rhinos. I want you to answer it.
All right, I can answer it. I answer this differently every single time. Well, today I would bring back Peter Steele from Typo Negative, and I would sacrifice Justin Bieber.
Off the top of my head, I'd probably say bring back Dimebag. And then I'd probably say just to keep it within the lines of metal. I guess I would probably sacrifice Dave Mustaine. I know that's a weird sacrifice, but it's kind of parallel.
They're both guitarists. Yeah.
I'd probably bring back Dimebag and maybe sacrifice Dave Mustaine.
That levels things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd probably either be him or Scott Ian, but I like his riffs more, so I'll keep him. We'll keep him. So I'll yeah we'll get rid of Dave Mustaine because yeah we'll just yeah.
You know, I'm checking out your posters behind your head, and I see one for Humanity Falls. I remember those guys.
Yeah, man, that was like one of my first bands, and pretty much like one of the bands pretty much got me to where I'm at now. You know, just as far as like experience wise and stuff like that. Actually, I think the album we came out with, the first one we came out with, or the only one we came out with, Ordained the Apocalypse, yeah, that came out back in 2010.
Yep, I remember hitting you guys up about that at one time, believe it or not.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, that was another band. You know, we played a lot of shows, did a lot of stuff. You know, it was a lot of different time back then, though. Um, but you know, we just did the best that we could with everything that we were given. But yeah, we actually did play with Suffocation, and that was a great experience. So I definitely want to try to do that, maybe a little bit more extended this time.
So that was you on vocals, I take it.
Yeah, on the Humanity Falls. Yeah, that was me on vocals. If you didn't know
I had no idea, man. Talk about
that.
talking about like being out of the loop, you
Are you
know? It's like,
serious?
whoa.
Wow, yeah. I was on vocals, pretty much. Yeah, on that and on the Geigen record that you see right here, multi-dimensional fractal sorcery and super science. I was on vocals on that album. That's the third album from Geigen. So yeah, I was on Humanity Falls album. That whole project basically was started by me and Ammo, and you know, collective project that we started. That was back when I was in New York. So yeah, man, great times, great memories, and all that, man. So it was cool. It's unfortunate that you know we couldn't see things through, but it brings us to where we are now, man.
Well, let's talk about merchandise. Does Vulnificus have any new merchandise for any fans out there?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to grab some merch, we got like pretty much a holiday sale going on our website. We got some tour merch left over, and like I said in part one of this interview, we got the new EP Inextricable is out right now. It came out last month, and we got shirts for that. The back of that shirt says, if you go to our website, vulnificusbdm.bandcamp.com, you'll see the shirt. On the back, it has like artwork that was done by a friend of ours from Scaffers in Texas, and he did the artwork. And on the back, it says propagation of disharmony leads to insanity. And so yeah, man, it's just the lyrics from one of the songs. So it's just to give you a little touch as to where going, you know, with the new material and just like the new direction of the band. I think the message that was on Implication, the last EP that we came out prior to Inextricable, I think that message was a lot more. It was clear because of the time frame that it was in, but now you'll start to see the maturation of you know the lyrical content as to why everything is the alliteration is there the way that it is.
That's awesome, man. This is a funny question for you. What made you choose death metal?
It was just like the most aggressive music and just like it was the antithesis to like everything else that was like in the music. It was just like the most extreme thing. And you know, it's kind of like just like I don't know, the music just kind of comes off as rebellious, and that's kind of like how I am, I guess, as a person. So you know, there's no rules, just like just all balls to the wall type of shit. Like, everything is every other kind of music for the most part. It's not a complaint or anything. Just to all other forms of music are kind of a little restricted to a degree. So like, I don't know. I just like the appeal of this shit just going like full speed ahead um the whole time. That's what attracted me to it. Like just like Malignancy and like the environment and like those type of bands like when I first got into death metal. Um just like if he was just fast, that's all I really cared about, man. So I didn't really care too much for like the slower, like I got into like the slower, like slam, I guess slam type of shit later. Um, but like, when I started, I listened to Divine and Vomit Remnants and like Circles of Fate and like that kind of shit. So like that kind of like it kind of already like fit what I needed, but like everything else after that was just like fast, 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 fast. Like one of the bands on tour, actually one of the bands I was listening to a lot that I had to bring back up just because that was another one of the founding bands I listened to was like Vital Remains. Um, yeah, and that's the type of stuff that I liked like back then, like when I first got into like death metal, just like fast, 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 fast. Like vocals low as hell, just like. But every band kind of has their own little thing that they talked about. So I think it started like those things will start to people start to understand it more, like with more music that we release. So
Yeah, it's kind of like when I listened to Mass Obliteration by Suffocation off of the Effigy of the Forgotten and Human Waste, and I compared both productions, and I was just like, wow, this album Effigy of the Forgotten is fucking amazing.
well, essentially, it's funny that you mentioned that because that is exactly the influence for like what we're doing right now. Like spoiler alert, the two tracks that we have, on this EP, like they are definitely gonna be on the album, and just like Suffocation is definitely gonna have its, the album is definitely different than the version that we have out now. Um, because that's just what happens over time, man. Like you just end up playing it, faster or slower or better, just to fit whatever. So you
That's
know,
cool, man. I'm looking forward to hearing this because I've been a fan of your band ever
yeah,
since I came across your sponsored ad on Facebook and I hit you guys up. I was like, yeah, this sounds awesome.
and that's the beginning, man. There's a lot of people who've been with us since the beginning, and still rolling with us, man. We just haven't touched all those places yet. So hopefully we'll be able to get that next year. Um, But the places that we did hit on this first tour, like it was really successful, and I appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting it, man, and keeping this thing going, man. Because without people like listening and supporting, buying merch and sharing it, and interviews like this, it's just like we still, in our own little local town, like how we used to be. So, you know, um, not to kind of go on a rant a little bit, but that's kind of why I like stuff like Spotify and stuff like that. The last week or so, I seen a lot of people talking about Spotify and like like F Spotify, and it's like at the same time we wouldn't be where we're at now, with the expansion of music if it wasn't for places like that. So, you know, I think shouldn't take things like that for granted.
Absolutely, dude. I used to be totally against Spotify until I realized how good it is, and my brother happened to give me one of his accounts that I can use. And I was like saying to myself, damn, there's more to it than I thought there was, because
What I say every time, like to myself when people say that, like for the price of what we used to spend for 4 CDs, or just even for one CD. For the price of one CD, you could buy the streaming platform and just discover a whole world worth of bands. And instead of spending, um, like $50 on like a bunch of stuff that you may not like, you could take that $50 and because of what you heard on Spotify, you can spend that towards something that you actually want. You know what I'm saying? Like your money's going to go to where you actually want it to be because you spend money on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like if I discover a band on Spotify, I discovered them for free. But if I'm following them, if I find the band on Spotify, but then I start following them, and then I become a fan, and then I start going to their shows, and I'm starting to really support the band. Is that really a bet? Like that's the trade off. Like because I actually spent more money with the band than had I just never even heard them all together. You know. So is it really? So is it really? Is it really like it's a bad thing? I don't really think so.
Yeah, my next question for you, Eston, would be, what bands are you listening to currently? Like, are there any new bands that are out there that kind of grab your attention? Sure.
Yeah, my buddy's band, my friend Ricky. Shout out to Ricky. He plays in a band called Worship. They just put out an album, Ordained to Infernal Depths. That's an album I've been listening to. That's pretty good. It's really good, like old school death metal. Um, and let's see, what else I've been listening to? The new Suffocation had just came out. Um, and yeah, I've just been going back on like old records and stuff like that. Like a lot of the Texas stuff that I really like. Stappen had just came out with a demo like last month, so check that out. That's been pretty good. And just trying to just listen to the bands I would play. Um, I think like a good portion of those bands have music coming out soon, so definitely trying to stay in tune with that. One of the bands that we play with that has some really good music that we all really enjoyed was Gene Cross. That was in Arizona. So shout out to those guys, man. They were really great band. Gene and Cross. So
I've been listening to a lot of Beatle involvement. I'm not sure if you know that band. It's a one
yeah,
man.
yeah, Brandon. Yeah, yeah. He came out to the show in Denver, man. So shout out to him too. Yeah, that's another band that definitely um I think he came out with a song a little while ago. Um, so
Yeah, he's
yeah,
incredible.
he did come out with a song a while ago. I'm thinking about it now. Yep. So yeah, man, I've been following him and his band since he started. I think he's on like his second or third album
Yeah,
now.
yeah, he's working on the second one. That's my buddy too, man. I know Brendan Jackson. Great guy.
Yeah, man. I really hope we get to play a show together one day because I definitely want to see. I know that stuff is gonna. It sounds way better in person because the video sounds great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, in fact, he's in my band called Nightmare Crypt, and we're doing a tour next year, and we're doing a festival, as you can see. Arkansas Death Fest 3, man. It's gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah, shout out to those dudes, man. Hopefully, we can eventually get down there and do some stuff. Yeah, we definitely got a bunch of stuff lined up. It's a lot of places now that people see like what the music sounds like, the new material. Um, I think people would be very pleased with what they hear.
Very cool.
So,
Here's the final question, Neston.
shout out to Cordyceps too, man. Like they were great. Their new material sounds killer, man. All those guys are awesome.
Oh,
So,
big time.
they that's and definitely it's motivational just being around and trying to keep up with what I'm saying, like we're a newbie band, so
Oh, yeah.
newbie band, so gotta make sure we're not like slacking. So definitely kept us on our toes.
Speaking of shout outs, I'll give a couple of shout outs. One, of course, to Brendan Jackson from Fetal Involvement in Nightmare Crypt, but also to Heath Hyde and Machete Eddie, who put on the show for Arkansas Death Fest.
Yeah,
And
shout
of course, life is what you make of it anymore. But listen to more death metal, right?
yeah, for sure, bro. For sure, man. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to everybody trying to just like expand the scene, expand the music. Just keeping the drama at a minimum, bro. You know what I'm saying? After all the bullshit that we had to deal with COVID and all that, like, yo, just chill, bro. Like, just it's all about the music. And so just keep it at that, you know. Uh, and that's pretty much it, man.
What final words do you have for Underground Noise Webzine?
Hey, man, keep doing your thing, man. And I'm sure we'll be back on this soon. Eventually, we got to do this in person. And eventually, we got to play some shows together or, you got to come see us or vice versa or whatever. So we could take this from the metaverse to the universe, man. And yo, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate like everybody showing support. Just goes beyond music, man. Just like building friendships and just chilling and just like building. And there's a lot of big things coming up. That's next year that we're building towards. The album too. I guess here I would say that here is we're gonna be recording the album in March. Um, so that's something I'll let you guys know before the end of the year is up. Is that we're gonna be hitting the studio in March to record our album. And it's definitely gonna see the end of it's definitely gonna see the light of day next year at some point. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming, man. I just really hope everybody is coming on for the ride and just bring your friends too. You can find us online on vulnificusbpm.com. Our new EP is literally everywhere from there. Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, uh, and yeah, man, just shoot us a message on Instagram, Facebook. Let us know what you think of the music. Let us know if you want us to come to your town. And like we mentioned earlier, there's plenty of merch. We got a blue shirt, we got a white shirt. Um, we got small sizes, big sizes, up to 3XL. So plenty of things for everybody to choose from. And if you're overseas and you're watching this, you want to grab some merch. Our friend Nicholas from Percussive Spectra, he actually looks for you guys. He's in France, so I know shipping is crazy right now. They've been at everybody over in shipping prices. So, if you want to circumvent the shipping prices and you go overseas, you could just go to Percussive Spectra. That's, Percussive Spectra. If you go to our page, you'll see his name. Um, yeah, if you're overseas, you just get the stuff from over there. And that covers everything, man. Hopefully, 2024 brings bigger and better things. And hopefully we can shake hands with a lot of people in person like we did it last month. That was incredible.
Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, Alex. And yo, man, I hope you have a great holiday, all of the holidays.
Likewise, my brother. Likewise.
Fuck yeah, dude.